This is Dave McCain with the Right Tree Genealogy. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on FamilySearch. This one will discover more record activity you can do. The first thing you should always do in FamilySearch is work on the records. Other activities, when you just don't find it when you're doing the search, you can go into it directly through FamilySearch's catalog, and that's the second part. So let's get started with this and let's see what happens. Now let's start part 2. Part 2, we're going to go ahead and hit our sign in. Once we hit our sign in, if you've had it set up to auto log in, then your account will come up. Now that your account is up, we can go into search and records. This is the very first place in FamilySearch you should always go. The Research Center tells you to do this, and I recommend the same. And then go back into your name. So in this case, we're going to go into Joseph McCain. And this time, before we go any further with the details, I'm going to go back to what happened last time, and we're just going to search it without any clicks on. So once you click this button, it shows a lot of records, but this is way too many. So we're going to hit the Joseph, and we're going to hit update. So once we hit update, it's only going to show those records that have the name Joseph after we hit the update. Now we're going to go back in again, and we're going to click each one of them individually, and we're going to hit update. This goes into the benefit of selecting match first name exactly, match last name exactly. It goes in to 218 records that have that name in it. Now we're going to go a little further into this, and we're going to say, okay, we know the residence. And when you do residence, you type the county name. In this case for Kentucky, you don't put the state of Kentucky in it, and I'll show you why in a moment. So this is Bracken, Kentucky, United States. It does not say Bracken County. So you got to be careful. You want to go less is more. When you did this, you come up with 7, but you're still not where you want to be. So you want to refine your search to a date frame of 1790. Kentucky was formed in 1792, but you still want to put 1790 just so it covers the date ranges. And in this case, I'm going to go 1840 if I could type. And I'm going to hit update again. Notice it says there are no records under Joseph McCain, that spelling. We have an alternate name. We have a few known alternates in this county, so let's go with a few of those. Let's do this one first and make sure we select exactly and hit update. Now notice we got one. So now let's do another one that we know we've seen in this county. Now some people will debate on this being an actual name to use, but it has been known to be pronounced as McCain. A lot of people pronounce this as McKean. It's pronounced McKean, McKean, and McCain, and it is known to be pronounced McCain in the time frame that we're working on. And we picked up another one. Okay, so now we can still add another alternate here. So I hit alternate, and I'm going to spell it a way I know it is found in the county. Now this gives me 1810, 1820, and 1830. Now notice the normal spelling of the name is Joseph and McCain. This is the way he normally spells his name. However, I have seen the name spelled this way, and this way in the records. Now we've done this research. You can add up to 4 alternate spellings, and this did what I wanted it to do. It has found the different names. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into this record to show you what we see. These little cameras are what you want to look at, but you can also look at the description first. So let's do that. I just want to see what it says is in here instead of going into and seeing the record, because this is typed by someone, and it says census, Joseph McCain, and page number of the record, which is really good. This is good information to have. It also says you can attach it to a family tree. You can create a family tree in FamilySearch Usually there's already someone that's done those records, so you try to attach it to those, but you're going to have to do a lot of corrections potentially because it is an active tree. Other people are allowed to edit it, so that is a downfall of the tree on FamilySearch. However, it is free. So now let's go into the record. Let's zoom in, and there's the name Joseph McKean, and it's Joseph McKean. And this shows you the ticky marks for this person who's in the household. Now this particular mark right here means 45 years plus. So in actuality, the Joseph McKean that's listed here is most likely the son, the oldest son, which I know is in the records, but you don't always know that. This could be the head of the house is the 45 plus person, or the oldest son in the household. And at times, if you look up here, Rachel York is the head of the house. So this is a lady, although there's a young boy under the age of 10. Let's go back out of this. Now we're back to the beginning page, and I've already clicked on this one and went in it. Now notice we have a record also in 1830. I'm not going to go into that one because you can go into each one of these and see them. But the biggest thing is we did not see the name as we thought it was. Now we're going to reset this, and when you hit reset, it doesn't clear what's here, but it clears all of your searching records. So I'm interested in to see if there's any marriages of McCain's, and the two main spellings in the county that you'll see of the name. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to click match exactly. And we're also going to do another spelling of the name. Now that I've seen these records before, we're going to go under marriage and place. Now I do not have the residence as that. I'm interested in the place of marriage. And the reason that is a person doesn't always get married where the residence is. And therefore, if you know that someone got married in a certain county, again, less is more here. You put the least amount to get what you're looking for and hit update. But they don't always get married in the county that they're from. They have to go to the county clerk, get their rights to be married at that whatever county they go to, but they do not have to be residents of that county. Now notice that it pulls a lot of records up here. So now we're going to say I want to know date range of 1790 to 1830, and this just happens to be one I'm interested in looking at. So then we do this again. It refines it from the 115 down to 17. This is a very manageable number. You can go through each one of these, see what you see if they're your names, the people you're looking for. Just because they have the last name you're looking for does not make them the person you're looking for. So understand that is they may not be your family line, even though it's a surname that you're looking at. You've got to look at every one of them to make sure they're tied to your name. Now we're going to go away from this and we're going into the catalogs. Now in catalog, I want you to realize you want to pick the same thing we did on the other page. This is catalog. Now you go under search, catalog, and once it pops up, in this area right here, I usually start with place. In this case, I'm going to do bracket again. Less is more here. You want to start with less so you can find things. This is a very important tip to think about. You're wanting to look at what's available online at this moment. So you hit search on online after you click it. Always look up here at the top that you find, what year it was formed, what counties it was formed from, and if there was a disaster that could have destroyed records, because you may not find what you're looking for because records are destroyed. Now also, if this time frame here is not what you're looking for, realize you can go into this county and this county, and you may still need to go in those counties to find your records. I'm not going to look at the marriage records because we actually found them on the other page. Now what I want to do here, I'm actually interested in taxation. The reason I'm interested in taxation, we saw that record that the gentleman was there in 1810, Joseph McCain. So you can go into a county records and you go in tax records. Now you can go into and say, okay, I want to look at these. This is not something that will necessarily show up in Ancestry or Find My Past or any of those type of search engines, or in FamilySearch. Sometimes you literally just have to look at the record. And I'm going to go to 1813. Now, not every county has it to where it's one listing. They are alphabetical most of the time, especially starting in the 1800s. There are times you're going to have to look through them and they're not alphabetized. It's line by line. So I'm going to look at 1813, and I'm going to look into the M's. And then 344. 344 now shows us a James McCain. Okay, see this? McCain, and notice it's kind of pulled together, so you're going to have to interpolate and understand how records are written. And I'm going to do a separate video on how to read some of this old text, try to understand how to determine what a name spelling is. And sometimes it's just almost impossible. Now, I look up through here and I see what other names are here. And I don't see a Joseph McCain. So you go through all the M's. And actually, I do know that we're not going to find him here. The reason is unclear. You'll find a Samuel. This is actually from a different McCain line by current genealogies. And notice this is the end of the M's. On larger counties, you need to make sure you go into each district or precinct. Now, I'm going to go forward here. 19, we go to a record. To make you aware, I skip some video here to make it clear. Now I want you to see something here. This is actually Joseph McCain. Now you're going to say that looks like a U, and it really does look a lot like a U. However, in this one, you look at census records, you look at the names that are in the county. That's why you got to look at more than one document, because when you're looking at these, hey, is this McCoon or is this McCain? There are times when it's indexed as McCain. There's times when it's indexed as McCoon or McCune, depending on how you want to say the name. And it's actually the other. In this case, they did not close the A, or at least it does not appear to be closed. If it is, this image doesn't show that there's a line there. So what's important here is you're going to go backwards and forwards and look for a letter that's going to help you define whether that's a U or that's an A. In this case, here's Daniel, and it also doesn't have it closed. So this particular person's way of writing does not always close A's off. So this is Joseph. So the first record that we find Joseph in is in 1819. Now I'm in this record. It's very important that you save a file, save the record. You can actually download this record. Make note of what file you're in and what image number you're in so you can find this again. I'll talk about how to save records in the future with a title that will lead you back to the exact location again. If you want to send somebody to a document and say, here's the document, look at my title of my file name for the image, and you can go find it directly. That's a way to document it. Now we're going to step back out of this. There's also available here, and this is where you're getting into the catalog is important to you. When you're in the catalog in the county, there you see what records they have available. Now there's the thing called court records, order books. Not every county has all their order books. Not every county or state sets up the way they do them. They may be called libraries. They may be called other names, folders. They've got different names. You got to understand the county you're in, the state you're in, and see what records you'll find. Now I've skipped forward on you on this video to find this record. I've jumped all the way to page 466. It's actually image 265 1247. But what do we have here? Now it's not the best of images, but you can see a notation here. The last will and testament of John Black, deceased. This day, etc., was proven in court. Now, this is the order book. You found a record, you know it was proven in the court system in October term 1817. Now you can go further and back up and say, okay, now that I found the order book And where it's recorded, well, there's a will of John Black. Now earlier we noticed that it was in order book A, but the will book is order book B. So you don't always have the correlation between the name of the book and of the order book and the name of the will book. You just need to look at the date ranges. This is 1815 to 1823. We know that he died or was recorded in the system in 1817. So we're in the right one. There is an index provided. These records are hard to read at times, but you can still see them. And you find what you're looking for here, and it says John Black. And we know we're looking for John Black. First entry is on page 12, and then 68, 79. It's important to write these down. Also, again, film number, image number. You want to know where you're at when you're looking at this. We're going to go page 12, and then potentially 15, and 68, and 79. Okay, so there's a different pages it says that the will should be on. The problem is that what we're really looking for was not on page 12. It was not on page 15. It actually went up to this is page 68 of the document of the will book. Image 299 443, file number is the same, and it's in 1817. I, John Black, being of, goes through this, lists Abraham, Daniel. So as we looked in the court records, court order books just a few moments ago, we found a will for John Black. Well, John Black's will should be listed. You want to go to the will books. Now there could be more than one John Black, and that's the thing that you got to look at. So when you find these records, you've got to verify, make sure it's the right John Black or whatever the name may be, because you want to make sure you're attributing a will or documents to the right person. You may be looking at a second person and it's not the original one, whatever the case may be. To conclude on this video, I want to state that this aspect of it takes a lot of time. Understand that when you're going into genealogy and looking into these records, you're going to go down potential rabbit holes. But remember, put down a plan. Have what you're going to do, what you're researching, who you're researching, what time frame you're expecting, and a timeline, for instance, of this person was born at this time, this is where they will be, this is what I'm expecting. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to get to who you're wanting to find. In the next video, I'm going to say, what if you have a problem child? What if you have a situation where in this county, you're going back to the Bracken County one, you say, okay, I am very interested in a later generation. So you go, okay, taxation, and my person lived after 1879. It's not one of those earlier guys. So you click in here and go, uh-oh, you're logged in. However, you've got a magic key here, and any of us that do this do not like seeing these keys. That's where you need to find a Family Search Center. That's where it comes in handy, and that's the only way you'll be able to open these links. That's in the next video, video 3, covering that aspect of that. I'm going to end this here and we can move forward together. This is Dave McCain with the Right Tree Genealogy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so we can work together, learn together, and hopefully discover things together.